Specialized driving in the state of Indiana. What happens if somebody has a suspended license, whether it's because of a pending DUI case, or let's say they've accumulated a certain amount of tickets or major offenses for the BMV, and the BMV comes in and says, hey, you're either a habitual traffic violator, your license is suspended for 5 or 10 years, or you got a pending DUI case. What am I going to do? How am I going to drive? Well, Indiana law allows for what's called specialized driving privileges in a lot of instances in which your license is suspended. Now, we have a ton of videos regarding specialized driving privileges, specifically what they are. This is catered more towards the working class. Hey, I don't have a normal 9-to-5 office job. I work construction. I'm home health. I have to travel from site to site to site during my workday. How am I going to be able to do that if specialized driving privileges generally requires a set schedule? Hey, you can drive to place X to place Y between the hours of 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Well, the answer is not as hard as you might think it would be. So we deal with specialized driving privileges here at the Marc Lopez law firm every single day. Again, whether it's regards to a pending suspension because of a pending DUI case, or habitual traffic violator, again, you accumulate too many points, too many tickets, too many offenses, BMV comes in, takes your license away, 5-10 years. When it comes to trying to drive, the specialized driving privileges statute allows people to continue to drive for life necessity purposes. That's to and from work, to and from any type of family issues or family matters you might have. Kid drop-off is something that we see quite frequently. Taking kids to school, picking them up from daycare, things of that nature. To and from medical appointments. Well, those are all pretty easy to document because you're going to go from your house to the child's school. You're going to go from your house to your doctor's appointment. Those are pretty easy to kind of figure out. Maybe the timing's different. Most people don't have, outside of a yearly physical, a common time they go to the doctor. Something comes up, they go to the doctor. But the same situation kind of happens when it comes down to people who have construction jobs, people who have the irregular, work hours. They may not have a set schedule like the normal 9-to-5 jobs that people that work in the office you would see. Now, the question becomes then, how do we incorporate that into an order that can both be enforced and not put you at risk? So the main common thing that we would do here is, number one, where do you sit in the company hierarchy? Are you the owner? Are you the boss? Do you set the schedule? Well, if you do, it makes things a little bit more difficult. But if you're an employee or someone sets a schedule for you, one of the things we do is, hey, keep a schedule with you in the car. We will formulate an order within our office that we would submit to the court on your behalf, and then you would testify to at the hearing. Your Honor, I don't have a normal 9-to-5 office job. I am a construction manager. I'm a project manager. I have to go to one site over here, 65 and 70 intersection, and I got to go all the way across town, or I got to go up north to Anderson. I don't know what site I'm going to be on any given day until the week prior when a schedule gets to me. Okay, perfect. So what we would do is we'd formulate that order to where you would be required to carry a copy of your schedule. And that doesn't mean you have to go to a printer, print it out. You just have to have it available, whether it's electronically, print it out, whatever. So one of the things we see, especially with construction, hey, we've got an invoice, we've got a job order. Well, the job order is going to have all the information any law enforcement officer is potentially going to need. The location of the job, the timing in which you're going to work. If you're working construction, generally, you're not working in the heat of night. Sometimes you might, and if that's the case, that would all be in that job order. So we would want to formulate something that's going to work for you, as well as also protect you, because that's the biggest concern from judges' perspective. Because a judge wants to make sure if you get pulled over, an officer can easily verify that you're driving within the confines of that specialized driving privilege order. If they couldn't do that, all chaos would ensue. And only you would reap the negativity of that, because then you're likely looking at driving while suspended, driving while habitual, driving outside the confines of a specialized driving privilege order, which itself is a crime. So the officers have to be able to verify the information. The courts want to make sure that that process is easy. You get pulled over for some reason. Hey officer, I've got a conditional license. Here's a copy of my order signed by the judge. Okay, well, it says you can only drive to and from work. Absolutely. Here's a copy of my job order. I got some tools in my back. Here's my, I'm in my work gear, but here's a copy of my job invoice, work order, something to that effect that will allow the police officer the ability to be like, okay, this makes sense. You're not off the beaten path. You're not driving outside of the confines of your order. And that's something that can be easily verifiable. So when it comes to jobs that involve traveling across different sites, we would have to tailor an order for the judge, and then we would have to testify as to your actual work habits. Again, it doesn't have to be necessarily a set schedule. When it comes to specialized driving privileges, it's always going to be at the judge's discretion. So we want to make it as easy for the judge to understand as well. So we don't want there to be a situation where the judge is confused or a judge is trying to figure out, hey, how are we going to do this? We need to present your case in a way that is very easy and very comprehensible for a judge, so then they can sit there and be like, okay, if I'm a police officer pulling this person over for whatever reason, I want that police officer to be able to verify it. So if you find yourself in the working class where you may not have that normal 9 to 5 office job, you have to go from site to site, location to location, and your license is suspended, let's figure out a way to get you driving. And if you have any questions, give us a call, 317-632-3642, and remember, always plead the fifth.